Welcome to Retro Scale Modelling. This is part 11 of the DeAgostini Star Wars Millennium Falcon build. Scale is approximately 172. Now before I get into this, about this scale, I'm not 100% sure whether it is 1:72 or not. Looking at the magazine, they're saying it's a replica of the actual studio model of the ship. So that you can argue then the scale is 1:1. So I'm not 100% sure. I will still call it a scale 172, I think, because I think that's probably, I think it's about the same size as the Perfect Grade from Bandai, and that's a 172. So this is where I'm getting 172 to come from. Now I can be completely wrong on this, but this is what I'm sticking to as well. But if anyone knows the actual answer to this, I'd be interested to see what it is. So anyway, back to the build. In part 11, there's a lot of repetition work, so I've cut out quite a bit of the video of the actual build. So it's basically making the frame up and some new parts that I'm putting together. But a large part is making up the actual support frame, which I've cut out. So let's jump into this and see how I get on. Starting off with issue 31, and as you can see with this issue, it's mostly building some more framework. I'm not going to go right into this because I've repeatedly covered it. It's just the section here that I'm building. So then it's on to issue 32, and in this issue I'll be building the thrust system. There's a little bit of painting involved, and I'm using Revit colour 36 Carmine Red for this part. And just with a very thin layer of paint on the brush, practically dry brushing here, I'm putting it on. Now I'm putting this on quite harshly. I don't want it to be neat, I want it to be streaking along the part, so it's going to have that dirty look into it. And then moving over to Revit colour 76 light grey, and just highlighting some of the red areas and some of the areas that are going back towards the shape, just to give it different colour and contrast. And then using Revit colour 15 yellow, and I'm using the tiniest amount here for this paint. Again, using the same technique, putting it on very roughly, no smooth action whatsoever, and no particular pattern either, trying to make it as random as possible. And once the paint's dry, I can put the rest of the parts on. Now the paint is on so thinly that it takes only minutes for it to dry. It doesn't take long at all. These parts fit in with their own location points, 3 in total. As you can see, they just plug in. Initially I thought they didn't fit properly, but it's just the design of the actual unit itself. It sort of hangs on the lip at the back there. Why that is, I'm sure that's probably how it is in the shape, but it didn't feel right to me. But I just went with it anyway. So once they're on, I'm putting on a wash, and that's the dark grey wash that I've been using. Now initially I was going to place this on after it was built, and this is still my plan. But I thought we'd put it on now just to show you in development and how it's going on. So as you can see, I'm putting it on roughly once more, and the splodges and that I don't mind at all. I'll drag my brush over and get them a little bit fairer to blend in. But apart from that, I do want it to be this really rough look to it. And finally, it's Tamiya's Withering Master Series C and the gunmetal component, just to tarnish it up a bit more, but this also gives it a sort of metallic look as well. And that's it, almost complete, and just put a couple of final touches to it, so you can see how well used the part looks now. To issue 33, and this issue is much of a repeat, so I'll skip most of it, but I'm basically building another segment of frame and another vector housing. So this housing is going to be made up exactly the same way. However, I didn't weather this one as much as the other one. As you can see, that's the two of them side by side. I'm not exactly sure if that's the running of them. They should go that way. It may go the other way. I don't know at this stage, but you can see the difference. So now I'm just preparing the main frame once more. And once the frame's prepared, it's just a matter of aligning it to the main frame before attaching it. And on to issue 34. And like the previous two issues, I've got another plate to make up here. And of course that's painted in similar fashion to the other two. This plate has a couple of more parts to be added to it. Some vertical inserts going in. There's just two halves put together, and they'll go in the location points on the actual unit itself. And as you can see, it's painted with a little bit less withering, just trying to keep the theme going as I go along. So I'm actually going to close the video here. So it's quite a short video this time around, but a lot of the processes, as I've said in other videos, are all very similar at the moment, so there's no need to repeat these constantly. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds? If you subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell, you'll be notified of all my future builds, including the build for this one of course. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.